Good morning. It's Monday the 29th of January 2018 and I've definitely been doing too much recently and my blood pressure is still really low and I just woke up with this horrible heavy head, struggling to hold my head up, and this horrific migraine just squashing this whole side of my head. So what I do to minimise a migraine and just make the pain a bit more bearable is put an eye patch on the side where the pain is, especially if it's concentrated over like around an eye area, and that'll just reduce the pain. So migraines died down a bit finally after a few hours, so I've been able to take the eye patch off. Anyway, I just got some post, a couple of letters from the Department for Work and Pensions, which is rarely good news, but still I have just a faint glimmer of hope that it might be something good, so I'm going to open them up now. Well, one is a letter saying that I'm going to be getting some sort of income for people who are too ill to work, which is good, called Employment and Support Allowance. Now I'll open the other one. But yeah, that was good news. Okay, so this is the other part of that. I don't know why they don't just put them all in one envelope, but it says from the 1st of January I'll be getting £48 per week income, which is just enough to, buy food and give my mum 15-20 quid towards the bills. It's good news, except that it's just still a pathetically small amount to be expected to live off. I broke my glasses. I think I just sort of had them in the bed. I took them off and I don't know how, but the arm snapped off, so I've got it taped on with a bit of Galaxy duct tape, but if I try and fold them up, the arm just comes off again. So I really need to call my opticians and find out what my prescription is so I can order some new glasses online. And I keep forgetting to put my ring splints on and then wonder why my hands feel unstable, so I'm going to put them on now. So, when I went to get the fish yesterday, my mum also took me to the university library so I could get some books out. Because of the whole issue I've been having with not being able to get my wheelchair outside, it's been really difficult for me to access anything, so she did help me there and that was good. The first one I got out is just a big book of Japanese art from a specific era, and it's just something I really like, so that's just for fun. and then I got a bunch of books to start researching my new module, and also just topics I'm interested in generally. So it's going to take me a long time to read all that, but I'm hoping I can get started on it today if my brain's working well enough. So better get started. Bye bye for now. Hello. So I didn't get very far with reading for university. The last couple of days I've just been going in and out of this really deep sleep for like most of the day, but this is kind of like on the border between sleeping and a coma, because when I'm like it, nothing can wake me up. I sleep through alarms for hours without hearing a thing. People can come in and speak to me, hammer on the window, you know, bang on the bedside table next to my head, and no matter what they do, I can't wake up. I literally cannot be woken up during these times. I have no idea I'm gonna fall asleep at all. I'm sitting up in bed, and then literally my eyes just forcibly close and I can't open them, and I'm asleep. So there's not really anything I can do to avoid it. So I think it's more scary for other people than me, because I just have the impression of coming out of a really deep sleep, except that I don't know what day or time of day it is, and I can't remember what's happened for the previous few days when I come out of it. So I'm hoping that might be it for this episode. Apparently my mum had emergency calls from my carers saying that they couldn't wake me up and stuff like that. But when she came home and said hello in my face, I did wake up, so I guess it was just, I was coming to the end of it by then. It sounds ridiculous, and when I brought it up to my GP, she's probably not understood because of how bizarre it sounds, but that's like almost everything that happens to me. Doctors don't believe me that that's legitimately happened because it just sounds so strange. The Memorabell didn't wake me up at all, even though it's ridiculously loud, and the carers have now turned it up to the highest volume, which is meant for old people who are hard of hearing with dementia. Another weird thing has happened today. When I woke up, I had 4 or 5 messages from different people on my Facebook, a couple of which I don't speak to that often, and they were all people who I've known since 2011, 2010 or earlier, so these are people I've known longer than 7 years. Now, the message they got says, I'll just quote, I work at the name of a media company, a TV production company which is based in... I'm doing some research for a BBC One series on, and I'm trying to get in touch with someone called my old surname, which I used in 2011. And then she gives an email address and an office phone number. And the strange thing is, she sent a message to all these different people, everyone she could find that knew me at that time. And something weird did happen in 2011. So for this to make sense, I'll have to give you the story, won't I? So I started my university degree in 2011, so this was 2010 to 2011, that this happened, I claimed job seekers allowance and I went to the job centre and applied for jobs, and one of the ones I applied for was this job working for a charity as their receptionist. But things did strike me as slightly strange there, and more so as time went on and I continued. And then it came to my attention, after I'd done all this work for this charity trying to collect donations and so on and so forth, that it's just a front for this particular woman who ran it to steal money. So obviously she never paid me. I was horrified, and I think there was even a local newspaper article at the time where myself and one of the other girl who was in the situation, you know, just briefly spoke about what happened. So this really could be a legitimate request for information, and it seems very plausible.